The mangrove ecosystem: structure, power, and survival in a layered biological order. Chapter 1: Introduction: The mangrove as a system of control and constraint. The mangrove ecosystem is not a passive landscape. It is a highly structured biological regime defined by constraint, competition, and selective survival. Located at the intersection of land and sea, mangroves operate under extreme environmental pressure. Salinity, tidal fluctuations, oxygen, poor soils, and unstable substrates. These conditions do not allow inefficiency. Every organism within the system is either adapted to survive or to be eliminated. There is no redundancy, no waste. This makes the mangrove not merely an ecosystem but a natural model of optimized resource accumulation as well as allocation and hierarchical interaction. From this perspective, someone aiming to build a system of dominance and control, the mangrove represents a functioning example of enforced efficiency. It is a closed loop system where every input is metabolized and every weakness is exposed. Chapter 2: Structural Foundation: Roots as Infrastructure and Control Mechanisms. Mangrove trees do not grow like other ordinary trees because the environment doesn't permit so. Their root systems, prop roots, and buttress structures are not aesthetic variations but survival mechanisms. These roots stabilize the soil, trap sediments, and create microhabitats. More importantly, they define the architecture of the entire ecosystem. The root network functions as infrastructure equivalent to supply chains or logistical networks in human systems. It dictates movement, restricts flows, and determines access. Small fishes, crabs, and microorganisms operate within this network, either protected or constrained by it. Predators must navigate it, adapt to it, or fail. The failure point is obvious: operating without extraction. Chapter 3: Salinity and Adaptation. The economics of scarcity. Mangrove roots are defined by salinity stress. Salt is both a constraint and a filter. Only species with mechanized systems, salt excretion, filtration at the root level, or compartmentalization can survive. This creates a natural barrier to entry, eliminating weaker trees and ensuring only high efficiency organisms remain. Chapter Flow: The flood chain. Hierarchy without illusion. The mangrove forest is brutally transparent. Primary producers are algae, phytoplankton, and mangrove leaves form the base. Detritus becomes the core energy currency, feeding microorganisms and small invertebrates. Crabs possess organic matter, fish consumes them, birds hunt those fishes down. Apex predators such as crocodiles and tigers dominate the upper tier. There is no illusion of equality. Each level exists to support the one above it. Resilience and shock absorption. The mangrove as a defensive system. Mangroves act as a natural barrier against cyclones, storm surges, coastal erosion. Their dense root systems absorb wave energy and reduce wind velocity, protect inland ecosystems, as well as it also forces better root connectivity and better oxygen in place where it actually matters. Colonial rule and integration. British colonial expansion in the 19th century fundamentally reshaped the region following the Treaty of Vandavo in 1826, which ended the First Anglo-Burmese War. The British annexed Assam and gradually incorporated other areas of northeast India into their administrative system. After India gained independence in 1947, the northeast underwent major administrative changes. Several new states were created from the former province of Assam to accommodate ethnic and linguistic diversity. These included Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and others. The reorganization aimed to address regional aspirations but also produce new political challenges such as ethnic tensions, border disputes, and insurgency movements. Physical geography of Northeast, structural setting and relief. The physical landscape of northeast India is dominated by mountains, plateaus, and river valleys. The region forms part of eastern Himalayan system and the Indo-Burma mountain arc. Three major physiographic zones define the region: the Brahmaputra Valley, the Barak Valley, and the hill regions. The Brahmaputra Valley is a fertile alluvial plain formed by the Brahmaputra River and its tributaries. It serves as the agricultural heartland of Assam. In contrast, the surrounding hill regions such as the Naga Hills, Mizo Hills, and Garo Khasi Jaintai Hills are characterized by rugged terrain and dense forests. Climate and natural hazards. Climate characteristics. Northeast India experiences one of the highest rainfall levels in the world. The region's climate is primarily humid subtropical to monsoon to tropical monsoons. Orographic effects caused by the mountain ranges intensify rainfall, particularly in areas such as Meghalaya, which includes Mizoram and Cherrapunji, among the wettest places on earth. The climate supports lush vegetation and rich biodiversity, but also creates challenges such as flooding and landslides. Natural hazards. The region is highly vulnerable to natural disasters. Major hazards include floods, earthquakes, and landslides. Population and ethnic diversity. Ethnic composition. The Northeast India is one of the most ethnically diverse regions in the world. The population consists of numerous ethnic groups belonging to different linguistic and cultural traditions. Major racial and linguistic groups include Mongoloid groups speaking Tibeto-Burman languages, Indo-Aryan population, Austro-Asiatic communities, Dravidian elements. The earliest settlers are believed to have been Mongoloid groups migrating from Tibet and East Asia. These groups include the Bodo people, who initially settled in the western Assam before spreading across the region. Later waves of migration, including the Indo-Iranian population around 1000 BCE, and other groups such as Nagas, Ahoms, Kukis, and Mizos were subsequent centuries. Migration and demographic transformation. Migration has played a critical role in shaping the social structure of Northeast India. Over the past 2 centuries, the region has experienced multiple waves of immigration. These include Bengali administrators during British rule, tea plantation laborers imported by colonial authorities, Bengali peasants migrating for agricultural opportunities, refugees from partition of India in 1947, migration from East Pakistan and later Bangladesh. These migrations were driven by factors such as economic opportunity, political upheaval, and population pressure in neighboring regions. However, large-scale migration has also created tensions related to cultural identity, political representation, and resource distribution. Agriculture and rural economy. Agriculture remains the primary livelihood for a large portion of the population in Northeast Asia. The plain regions practice settled agriculture with crops such as rice, mustard, pulses, and vegetables. Shifting cultivation involves clearing forest area, cultivating crops for a few years, then abandoning them to allow natural regeneration. Industrialization in Northeast India remains relatively limited to compared to other parts of India. The main industries include tea production, petroleum refining, coal mining, cement manufacturing, forest-based industries. Contemporary challenges. The Northeast India faces several persistent challenges: ethnic conflicts, insurgency movements, border disputes between states, illegal immigration, infrastructure deficits. These issues have complicated governance and slowed economic development. However, increasing integration with Southeast Asian economies and improved connectivity may provide new opportunities for growth. Conclusion. The future of Northeast India. Northeast India represents a region of immense complexity and potential. Its unique geographic location, rich biodiversity, and diverse cultures make it one of the most fascinating regions of South Asia. At the same time, the region faces significant challenges related to development, identity politics, and environmental stability. Future progress will depend on balancing economic growth with ecological preservation and ensuring that development benefits all communities, and investments in infrastructure, education, tourism, and sustainable agriculture could transform Northeast India into a dynamic economic gateway between India and Southeast Asia.